So the whole front of the building here at Industry is really made to bring people together, both tenants and folks that are outside the building. And this, we call it our auditorium. And during a normal day, it's set up for ping pong and soft seating and grab a snack, or sit with your teammates here in the bleachers or on the tables or the stand-ups and get your work done. So you might do a stand-up meeting, you might bring a group together for a project, but then it also doubles. This great big door over here looks like a wall, but it's really big, and you can swing this closed, and you can have a private meeting where this entire space closes to the lobby area, keeps your noise in and keeps the privacy out. So this whole thing closes and it becomes a true auditorium. And then in the evenings, we have tons of events, both with tenants and outside folks at each of our buildings, and it becomes kind of a community center where people can get together. Every lobby should be a coffee shop, right? So we made our lobby a coffee shop. When you come into Industry, before your person you're kind of meeting with comes and gets you, you enter here. And so there's a seating area, you can hang out, there are booths around the corner, and then we partnered with Public. And so Public is, in my opinion, and many people's opinions, the best kind of coffee shop and breakfast and lunch eatery in town. And so Public and we have a cafe here together called Public Works. Now we're entering what is the private tenant space. So we've left kind of our open public area out front, and you come into the core of Industry, and this area is really the shared space for the tenants. So this whole hallway, or canyon as we call it, is flanked by conference rooms, little huddle areas, quick little stand-up pop-in rooms, and each of these rooms has their own size and their own kind of personality, but you book these for your group, whether it's 2 or 10 or even 20. Here we have a classroom, so this is the largest, other than the auditorium, the largest space. So you can do 30 or even as many as 40 people facing forward. All the rooms are Zoom compatible and Teams compatible, so folks that have offices in different places, whether people choose Industry as a satellite for their San Francisco or New York office, or whether it's the vice versa, folks can meet up virtually with folks kind of all over the world or in their other offices. So, and the idea is to have a variety of spaces, and you can see that folks are using these rooms, and most of them are using the screens, and they've got people zooming in, which is really cool. And as you kind of walk down the canyon, you come to our Dueling Kitchens, as we call them. So, so here you've got these 2 big areas where people can bring their food from home or get takeout or do whatever they want to do. And our spaces are highly amenitized, so we really want to make sure that we as a property provide a lot of the things that most people do for themselves as tenants. And we do what we do well and let their people focus on what they do well and not worry about whether the paper towel is running out, or you've run out of soda or beer or water or hot tea or whatever it is you're looking for. We provide that here at Industry. The second floor, as well as the deeper parts of the first floor, are really filled with tenant spaces. So all the common shared areas are pulled to the middle, and that brings everybody together and lets you kind of have your random collisions with your roommates, if you will. But then as you get deeper on the first floor and on the second floor, it's mostly tenant spaces. So the tenant spaces in Industry range literally from a single office to 50,000 square feet and everything in between. So we have, big open spaces. Folks have really upped their game over the years, and the tenants really do an amazing job of making their space speak about their brand, because Industry is really the vessel or the backdrop to their successful brands. And you can see as you walk through the building, we really tried to keep every single little piece of the building that we could, because it was such a gorgeous structure. So this is a big space. This tenant is just about to take occupancy now. They took about 10,000 square feet, and they're a San Francisco-based tech company. So they have their main headquarters in SF, and they'll fill that mezzanine with kind of soft seating and fun seating areas, and then they've got their team members kind of desking all together down in the bullpen there, and then behind those brick walls they've got more private offices as well. Again, the tenants have just done a great job in making their space speak about their brands, and so here at Grove, their colors, their brand, their logo, and then the way they furnish the space, I couldn't be happier with what they've done on the interior as well. The long hallways have tenants on all sides. We also have all the old cranes. So this building was a series of manufacturing spaces, and these big, beautiful roof lines went block to block. And so these cranes, like this one right here, is a 15-ton crane, and it was used to manufacture at first Caterpillar earth-moving equipment. In its later years, they built these really cool pipes that lock together in the field, these 8 and 10-foot diameter pipes. And so the cranes we thought were so beautiful that we left them in place. They actually don't work anymore. We disconnected them from power. We don't want anybody moving their offices or picking up desks with them, but they were functioning certified cranes when we bought the building just a couple of years ago. And now they just provide a beautiful kind of industrial backdrop to what we do now. You can see we're hanging art as we speak. Another big conference room to your right, people cranking away. No office building is complete without a roof deck. And so in some of our other buildings, we have more than one. Here we built one great big huge roof deck. And so we're really excited about how this came together. In the front of our building was just the perfect place to put a big roof deck. During a given workday, you'll have people out here on their computers and on their phones doing Zoom meetings and hanging out with each other. Here in the spring, of course, it's a little cold still, but when it was warm a couple days ago, it was like full up here, which was great to see. And then off to our right, we'll have a really great local restaurateur opening in less than a year. So we'll have a great pizza and beer restaurant that is just, I don't know if I'm allowed to say who it is, but they're great and people are going to be really excited about that. And then across the street, we'll have 2 apartment buildings and a great big parking garage. So you can see the dirt's moving over there, and in no time, those will both be coming out of the ground as well.
My name is Ellen Winkler, and I'm the co-founder of Industry Salt Lake City. I'm also the head of architecture, design, and brand for our company. In 2019, I came on a trip to Salt Lake City to start looking for our next project. Knew I loved the Granary district and looked at all the old buildings that were for sale. Unfortunately, nothing spoke to me at that time. So I happened to sneak into an old warehouse that was a pipe manufacturing company and called up my partner and husband and said, "This is it, I found the promised land. You gotta buy this." And 3 years later, we sit in our new creative office space called Industry Salt Lake City. We opened, in fact, finished the building the week the pandemic hit. We were about 40% leased of our first 100,000 square feet. And today, coming out of the pandemic, we have 300,000 square feet, and we are leased all of except for about 10,000 square feet of small spaces. So we are very, very fortunate that the Salt Lake community has embraced what we've done here, and the reception that we've gotten has been amazing, and we can't wait to invite all of our new tenants into our space. So this area over here is our reception and entry. This area is actually open to the public. We have public coffee over here, we have seating, we have a cafe, we have more seating around the way, but anybody in the Salt Lake community can come in and enjoy this part of our space. We also have a patio outside with fire pits and couches that is also open to the public. We create places for people to come out of their offices. You know, work can be really monotonous, so I like to say I design in thirds. A third of the day is head down. You need a door to close. So everybody has their private spaces, their private offices, their brand, whatever they need in their space. A third of the day is really boring. You're answering emails and stuff. So what I like to do is say, come out and join us, be part of our community. As you can see, we pretty much have every different way to sit, to work, introverted, extroverted. And then a third of your day is, and it's not quite a third of your day, but a third of your day is what do you need to do to rejuvenate yourself to go back and put your head down? We have a cafe, we allow your pet, we have running clubs, we have activities, we have ping pong, and so you have the rest of the time to come be part of our community, rejuvenate yourself, and then go back and put your head back down in your office again. Part of the narrative of industry is we are a community, and who we look for to be really great tenants are people that look up. The whole design and architecture of this building is based around our ceilings. First of all, we have wood ceilings from the 1920s. We could never recreate these ceilings. That is what drew me to the building. But second of all we want to do with people's eyes is have them look up. If you look up, you say good morning. You're usually a really good neighbor, and you're usually very forward thinking. So when you walk and look around our buildings, you'll notice that everything we do is to draw you back up so you don't walk with your head down. Part of what we do at Industry is we keep our hallways really quiet. We have some sayings, they tend to be sayings you've heard all the time, but then we want people to have their office pop through, their brand pop through, and who they are pop through. So we keep it silent, let them do what they need for their brand in their office, and if we can provide a wonderful space for our tenants to grow their companies and grow their brands, we do better as a building altogether. The thought behind the open space is we live in a mountainous canyon community, so we call this our canyon, and this is what we nod back to the outside world of Utah with. So we bring everybody to the center, to the heart of our building, and then we let everybody kind of feel the majestic and the flow of being in a canyon or being outside, making sure that everybody gets the natural light on them and everybody can enjoy it. But that's why we call this our canyon. Next, I'm going to take you out to our exterior courtyard, or our interior exterior courtyard that is for the tenants. This is actually about 13 buildings put together, starting and stopping in different places. And in here, we really got deep into the building where there was no natural light. It also was a catacomb where the ceilings were very, very low. So instead of putting a new roof over it, it was an opportunity to get light in everywhere to all the offices and not have darkness. So all we did here was literally remove the roof and leave everything that was there. So these are all the existing interior, exterior walls. All we did is put a flooring in and literally left everything as it was and put furniture in here. So it's a great place in the summer to be able to get outside because there is always shade, no matter where, at some point in this space. This truly is my favorite space because it's so unexpected in an office space. And I also think it has truly become the heart of our building. Everybody at the end of the day can grab a kombucha, can grab a beer, can grab a soda, and come out and converse out here. And it just allows for great discourse and just an opportunity at the office that doesn't exist. So every time we do a building, we choose a nonprofit to support, and then we have the whole building support. We represent this with our wishing well. We have chosen to do the teen homeless shelter in our neighborhood. So all of our efforts philanthropically at Christmas, whenever mentoring goes to that neighborhood. And so what we did is a little nod back to everybody to understand what a wishing well was and why. And that just to know that this is our symbolization of support in a neighborhood that's up and coming, but we do have to remember the kids that have been here before us. This area is probably the most used area in the whole building. There is something about bringing in a little hospitality that people really like. And with such vast high ceilings, it's nice to find these little tucked in special moments. This is a local Utah artist, Salt Lake artist, who did this for us, but this is probably the one place that you can usually not get a seat at.